We just got word that the top is frozen over. It's too tough to cross it. This group didn't even just walk right past that.
Really?
And it was. So just so you know, we've got some interesting terrain in front of us.
All right.
Okay.
We are live. This is Mikko Kemppe, and we are here with
David Avocado Wolfe.
And where are we?
We are hiking what appears to be a glacier. It probably melts down in summer. Here in Iceland on our way back from a hot springs.
I've been, been excited to ask some questions from you. One of them was about this idea of creating a paradise on Earth, and how if we all find our true mission in life, like we are here sort of walking and hunting and getting closer to the nature and finding our own mission, this idea that through that we could create a paradise. Can you explain some ideas?
I'm in agreement with that general philosophy, no question about it. If you do what you love every day, you're already in a paradise. You create a paradise around you automatically. So all those things that are the negatives of our life have to do a lot of times with what we don't like to do. So we have to always do what we don't like to do. Well, that's not paradise. So we have to get our life organized and our head arranged so that we're doing what we love and we love what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. And what's been fascinating for me to watch is because, there's a lot of people who do things for a certain purpose that they're not necessarily so clear why they're doing what they're doing and so forth. And I found that there's only like a handful of people that I really resonate, that I find that they have sort of found what they love to do. And you can just like see it in their eyes, and they have this spark in their eyes, and you can just like feel it, that they are on a mission. So like, do you have any ideas like what, or do you know what I mean? And like, or do you have the same feeling about this idea? And how did you sort of come to find out or get closer to doing what you love to do?
I think I got into what I'd like to do based on personal development technology, which is really spiritual development technology. And early on, I got into what I love to do. So I feel very blessed, and that's a grace. If you're doing what you love and you've been doing that since you were young, you're in a state of grace, period. That's what I want for everybody. So that's what I feel like we got to strive for, is all of us have to strive for that thing that we love, no matter how difficult it seems or how difficult the pathway is. Because then you'll get to a place where, I went through hell, unbelievably difficult times, but I actually was always happy because I was doing what I love to do. And especially when I was doing what I love to do, I was even happier. Like just in that moment, which my favorite thing is public speaking. And in those moments of public speaking, doing the presentations, I'm in a paradise, absolutely.
So the key could be, one of the keys is that even when you are sort of in a difficult, challenging situation, trying to find the good in it, and once you get connected with that, it helps you sort of to find your journey.
Yeah, I would say that that's true. No matter how difficult what's being thrown at you is, if you're doing what you love, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Let them throw the devil at you. It doesn't matter. You're doing what you love. So when you do what you love, what's built into what I'm saying is that you may encounter hard times. You're going to. It's part of being on this plane, this level, flat plane of Earth.
Yeah. And talking about the flat plane we are in, comes this idea of perception. And I think this also ties in with it. Sometimes we might be actually loving what we're doing, but we are not actually recognizing it because we're sort of like living in a lie, or we're not seeing the full truth.
Right.
Full truth about ourselves, full truth about what we're doing, or full truth just about the plane we're living in.
We're in a plane that's very incredible in that we really can only trust our own experience and what we detect with our own tools and our own experiments. That's really what it comes down to. What a fascinating discovery. Therefore, we all have to become our own scientists, and we can scientifically do projects on ourselves, self-improvement projects, physical fitness projects, mental game projects where you can improve your mental acuity, your skills. Now, all of that is part of transforming yourself as a person, and in order to do that, you're going to disrupt some perceptions, and therefore your old world's going to come tumbling down, unfortunately. But the new world that replaces it, because it's closer to the truth, it's a better one. So it's a joy. It's all how it's an attitude, really.
Yeah, it's kind of like us walking here. We're almost
going off a cliff.
But it's a challenge. This is probably one of the most challenging interviews ever. You know, we're about to...
One wrong move, which I almost made, and we're going down a cliff.
But this is exactly about, you know, I think the only way to really discover your full potential is to challenge yourself. Well, if you have any top 3 tips for where to start in terms of detoxing.
Okay, well, let me finish that question that we were on.
Sorry.
So the third thing is, you got to keep yourself sharp mentally, and you got to keep yourself sharp physically. So you've got to be able to, I guess that's 3 and 4, but you got to be able to bend with the times, you know, that's what yoga comes in. But you also have to be in good shape. That's where the cardio comes in. And the other piece of that is your mind. If you can't bend your mind and wrap it around a new idea and redo your business model, redo your psychology model, redo your own operating system.
Your earth model?
Right, your earth model, whatever it is, you're stuck. And so I'm constantly just going, where am I stuck? What is going on here?
What do you think was where most people are the most stuck in terms of perception?
I think, as a general rule, men are more attached to this physical reality and tend to be very stuck on their ideas about the world and what the world is. You know, so but you know, can you fault that? No, but when somebody gets absurdly attached, like the fanatic type of mentality, that's going to be trouble, of course.
Yeah.
It's going to lead them to a very big problem. And unfortunately, that's going to create a little blinking light on God's control board. And he's going to send down, or she's going to send down a message.
Makes sense. And what about just the 3 practical things in terms of, if detox is one of the big things I think a lot of people are missing, where should anyone who would want to join that journey start?
You got to get your water sorted out. Right? I'm a spring water hunter. It's one of the things that brought me to Iceland.
What we drank here.
We just drank some spring water here. You know, incredible place because of the water.
Yeah.
And that's why the Icelanders are in general healthier.
Right.
The water here, the air here is so pure. So we come up here and we get that spring water. So that's number 1. You got to have nature's solution to pollution, which is dilution. Second is you have to have some reasonable detoxification strategy, which means, you know, juice fast, go without food, experiment with your body. We don't need all this food we're eating. You know, we eat constantly, all this food. It's like, go without, experiment without. And then the third is, so, you know, you test your body a little bit. The third then is, we got to get into some of the detoxification tools. I like charcoal a lot because it's universally available. It's simple, it's easy, it makes sense. I personally take charcoal every day. I realized over the years that I wasn't taking enough, unfortunately. Unbelievable. After all these years, I realized, geez, I've never taken enough charcoal. And so now I've really been on it. I've been on it solid. I'm in my 7th month of pretty much daily intake. Wow. And it's been awesome. I've been so happy with that as a different angle. There's also clays, zeolite, high mineral content, interesting, you know, plants and herbs. For example, I like pearl, you know, from Chinese medicine, Persian medicine, and Egyptian medicine. You know, pearls from oysters. The pearl can be extracted now without killing the oyster. And that pearl is very, very high in calcium, but it's the right kind of calcium instead of this calcium, you know, that's dug out of mines, crushed up rock calcium. We're actually getting real calcium. It's the right kind of calcium, and it's very alkaline.
Right.
So that's a very powerful detoxifier. Magnesium's the same way. I always try to get magnesium sulfate, you know, into my body, into my pores, soaking in it.
That I have a question, actually, personal interest also in terms of the magnesium sulfate. Like, what do you think of the drink where they have the calcium, magnesium, and apple cider vinegar all mixed together? I know your thoughts on calcium, but what do you think of that, like, cocktail?
Well, I like vinegar if you're taking calcium because it's going to help dissolve the calcium. Vinegar is actually very good against stone formation.
What do you think about the sort of what we have been led to believe about hallucinogenics and drugs in general, and that story of sort of like how most people, if they have not researched any deeper about it, they sort of feel like, okay, this is dangerous, and drugs, hallucinogenics are something that like people in the 60s used just to get high and to have a good time, as opposed to using them as a tool. So any thoughts on that?
It's really an individual journey. You really have to tune into if these plants are right for you as part of your path.
Right.
Some people, like I'm a drummer, I really like drumming as part of my path. It's part of my spiritual path because drumming is a very shamanic experience.
Kind of like salt dancing
for you, right? And so that's part of your psychedelic path. And certain psychedelics like magic mushrooms or ayahuasca or peyote or San Pedro cactus, they help you to get to that deeper part of awareness. And that can help you find your path. There's no question about it. And a lot of the most spiritual people I know, when you really dig into their story and you find out, how did this all start for you? They did an acid trip in college or something like that happened. There's always some kind of psychedelic plant involved. And by the way, when we're dealing with things like acid, it's not from nature exactly, but it originally comes from nature because it's made out of ergot fungus. It's a magic mushroom extract, essentially, is what LSD is. And same with MDMA. Ecstasy, it originally comes from sassafras root bark. So I'd like to interject that too. I mean, the reason why we just don't get the same effect from sassafras root bark directly, or the tea of sassafras root bark, is because our heart is too closed. That's why it has to go to a psychedelic level with like MDMA in order to kind of push that heart door open. That's kind of how I feel it and see it. And so those drugs are there for a reason. And the reason why they're there is because we have closed our heart. So we need to open our heart. It helps us to find that's there.
Which brings me to chocolate. Is that the best thing you ever to open your heart? Or what? I don't know.
There are
chocolate
drugs,
and salsa.
There are certain drugs that almost everyone's experience of drugs, whatever it is it's great in the beginning, then it's okay, then it sucks. Yeah. It's you go through those cycles. And that's probably true of anything if you do it too much, but it's definitely true of these drugs. But there is one thing that I love, and that is certain of these drugs are foods, and one of them is chocolate. And so it's the great psychoactive tonic, because if it agrees with you, you can do chocolate all the time and find your happiness increased chemically, which I think at this point, I think we can say is legal.
What about one last thing? Because there's some hardcore bowlers out there.
For sure.
And so, like, for them, some people could have the argument that what about, like, well, okay, LSD is chemical and ayahuasca comes from nature, but how about the chemicals that are man-made, that are supposedly toxins for us? Aren't they somehow also coming from the earth that we are taking? So, like, what's the difference between that type of chemical, man-made chemical, and say something like, something else that comes from the earth in a way?
Well, it's a matter of degree. I think that's an important component. The further that the thing is away from its natural state, usually the worse it's going to be, and the more problems it's going to create, and the more side effects. I think we have to consider the intent of the scientists who are behind this. When I think of LSD, it's the intent of Albert Hoffman. His intent was to develop a drug that could help someone psychoanalyze themselves and solve their own patterns of self-destructive behavior or self-esteem issues or whatever. So I think that intent translates through. And if the intent of a pharmaceutical company is greed or make money or whatever, that's going to translate through too. If the intent is to control people, that's going to translate through. So again, the more human hands get involved, the more precarious it is. So I'm always partial to people going to nature to get these things way before, take magic mushrooms before you're going to take acid. That's for sure. It's natural. It's what Mother Nature's produced.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's a fascinating concept in and of itself. Is that idea, for sure. Yeah.
And I'm very partial to, over the years, I guess I've become like more of a teetotaler. Do it in the right situation, like with the right people, where it's not dangerous. Don't drive your car. Make sure there's a shaman present, somebody who's been dealing with these things for a long period of time. And you're just going to have a better experience. It's going to be better for you. It's going to be healthier. And it'll be a positive.
Right.
And these things should be a positive. They should actually inspire you because they tear down limitations and open up incredible doors and show you amazing things.
Yeah, and I think that comes a good question is how do we then make sure that we do things with the right intent and so that intent that we put out in the world to do something or accomplish a goal or whatever, that it's sort of alignment with who we are. And I think that goes back to what you said all along this little walk journey that we've had, which combines this idea that we need to develop our body to have a cleanse our senses in a way, and to develop our mind to be able to sort of think everything through, but also have the tools to open our heart and its methods to sort of get back into how are we really feeling about what we're doing, and then through there set the intention, which becomes then much more stronger, where you have more fun, where you do everything with that sort of intent to really truly bring out something that's inside of you to save and to help the world, and to make it a better place and to make it more fun for all of us.
I'm with you on your whole spiel there on intention, for sure.
I know.
I'm with that.
I recently saw you had posted something about the story of Santa Claus. Follow us spins as an extra bonus recording.
Well, I actually, I've studied the pagan ways of dealing with the Amanita mushroom, which is the Amanita muscaria in Siberia all the way through Lapland and Finland and Northern Europe. And then we have the Amanita pantherina in the United States. So I've studied their systems of dealing with those mushrooms, how Santa Claus fits into it, that Santa Claus and the elves and the reindeer all have a connection with that mushroom. And the whole thing with the elves is like a psychedelic experience when you hear the elves calling you into the forest, or the things that happen when you have too many of those mushrooms. And we follow that as part of our Christmas experience. So we dry those mushrooms and put them in the tree as ornaments, and we celebrate on Christmas Eve, and we get those mushrooms out and have fun, either eating them or just having fun with them. It's just kind of like part of Christmas Eve. That's what we do.
Do you think those can be also like for sometimes good tools for self-discovery, or like a biohack, or any thoughts on?
Amanitas, the type of that we're talking about, the muscaria and the pantherina, I wouldn't recommend for people who are just looking for a magic mushroom high. Mm-hmm. They're too powerful. And I really feel like, if you do an experiment, okay, whatever. You pick it yourself, great, whatever. But to really know how to deal with that mushroom, you have to kind of live in the forest with them. You have to kind of understand there's a way of drying them. There's a way to ingest them, which is, part of forest living, and it's not really part of city living. And so a lot of people, will have too much. And you're on the ground, you can't move, and it's a toxic experience. And then they're upset about their magic mushroom experience. Well, go for the other kind of magic mushrooms first, not the amanitas.
Exciting! I'm stoked about. I heard a little bit about all of your plans with the center and the facility you're doing here, and I'm super excited about what's coming up with that, and about the other secret mission that you're planning, which maybe perhaps some ballers will find out.
Yeah, you gotta be. If you're a baller, you're gonna find out. But that's another story.
Yeah. And so what would be the third? So one is that in terms of detox, to get your mind clear, so that you can see better and what's actually happening around the world and yourself and how to develop yourself. So number one would be the charcoal. Maybe start with that.
Zeolites I like. I also like clays. A lot of interesting clays out there. The most common is bentonite clay, but it's an alkaline clay and not the best for everybody.
Right.
Still very good. I like some of the more interesting carbon-based products, carbon detox products. I like oxygen a lot for detox. Oxygen therapies.
And there's a good book you also recommended.
Flood Your Body with Oxygen by Ed McCabe. It's just a classic in the health field. It's pretty. If you're into health, you need to have that in your library.
Yeah. It's a huge book, yeah. And it has some interesting like cheap solutions in terms of the hydrogen peroxide and the protocols.
It really allows you to hit it from every angle. And that's what I love about that book is it will correlate to whatever your situation is, and you'll have a solution there that uses the most natural thing for us to breathe, which is oxygen.
Well, that's fantastic. Anything else that where people can find you, what you're doing, trips you're taking, adventures
David
you're
Wolfe
going?
Adventures is going to bring us right back here to Iceland. We're actually going to do this particular walk we're doing right now in June of 2017.
And this has been incredible. I mean, it's been amazing.
Have we been having the best time ever, or what?
I mean, it's just like, just the scenery. I mean, just like any aspect alone has been amazing to me. I mean, but that's all I can say. But to find out all about it, say it again. What was
DavidWolfeAdventures.com. You can always find me. The portal to all my stuff is DavidWolfe.com, and you can find me on Facebook or Twitter.
We're doing some events also, and you have your.
We have a really great series that we do called the Longevity Conference. We've done at least 14 of them over the years. Our 15th one will be late September 2016. And you can find the details at longevityconference.com.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, I think this has been a fascinating short interview to get into the world of David Wolfe, David Avocado Wolfe, and all of you doing in Reyjavik and around the world. My name is Mikko Kemppe. It's been a pleasure hosting this, and this has been definitely the most exciting interview I have had. And so, and who do we have with us? Say a couple of words.
Aloha. Galactic Hunter here.
Yes, and we have Team Finland. We have Team Iceland. Team Iceland in here. How's everything?
Good.
And Team Finland. We have, who do we have?
We have Jaakko with very good shoes for this activity.
Yeah, it's like he has a dance shoes. He brought a dance shoes like I did for in case. And who do we have here?
Good afternoon.
Hi. How are you? Good. So we have Tommy Kokko from Lean in 5 weeks representing as I'm sliding almost over the cliff. And then lastly,
hello, my name is Christopher.
So Christopher, can you say us a couple of words about the trip we've had?
Well, there's epic journeys you can do all over the world fairly easily, and then there's like coming to Reyjavik in the middle of the winter and hiking into it and dropping into the hot spring water and hopping into the really icy cold glacier meltwater, and you can just easily have the best day ever. But you can also walk back in the darkness with only 2 flashlights, which is, pretty smart, but very interesting and very exciting.
Yes, it's about challenging yourself, being the best version of yourself, biohack yourself to become a superhuman. So that's Mikko Kemppe. Thanks for listening, and we'll continue again soon. Have a great year 2016, everybody.